We Will Rock You, the musical. Where did this whisper in your ear and your brain come from as far as the universe is concerned? You thought, yeah, this could work, this could happen. Take us back to the beginnings of it.
It was an epiphany, Chris. It was a moment of revelation. I'd been approached. I mean, gosh, this is a sentence I still find, worthy of pinching myself. I'd been approached by Queen to consider creating a theatrical vehicle for their greatest hits. Now, that is obviously about as big a dream as any writer could possibly have, particularly one born in 1959. I mean, I was 16 when Bohemian Rhapsody was number one for 9 weeks. I'd just left home. The Queen meant they were like I was in a lonely bedsit. Queen with this voice of strange wonderment, this fabulous, joyful thing that exploded. I mean, you'll remember it. 1973, 4, then 5, it was Bohemian Rhapsody, and Killer Queen was 74. I mean, it was an amazing thing when they emerged, when you didn't know Queen. I mean, it seems an impossible universe to think there was a time when we weren't all aware of them, but there was, and I lived through it. Anyway, they asked me, and I was actually, believe it or not, I was busy. I was making my own feature film about my wife and my troubles with infertility, starring Hugh Laurie, Maybe Baby. And I was also writing a musical with Andrew Lloyd Webber, so I was quite busy. This was 1999. And I said, God, this is the most amazing thing ever, but I don't know if I can help right now. And they said, we can wait. That was Brian. Let's just see if anything occurs. They wanted a biography. They were thinking do something about Freddie, and I maybe I was wrong, but, I said, I don't think that's the way to go. It should be, we all own Queen. Queen all wrote the music, all four of them. They're the only band ever where all four members individually wrote number ones. Even the Beatles didn't. Poor old Ringo didn't quite get one. So, I said, it should be, for us, it's not really Freddie's story. It's our story. We all share the Queen story. And it should be a legend. That's what I said. That's interesting. I said, it should be something grandiose, almost Arthurian. And they said, that's good. But I didn't have the idea. Anyway, a year later, I was pushing my kids in Regent's Park with a double pram, twins, and the whole thing fell into my vein. It was all around the time of The Matrix, and I was thinking of a sort of Arthurian Matrix where computers control music, and it's so centralised and so much a corporate thing that even musical instruments have been banned, but one guitar remains buried in rock, and a true kid will draw it from the stone. And I ran round the Queen, as one does, and said, I've had this idea, and they loved it, and that was We Will Rock You. And that was long before iPhones and streaming. I mean, the whole thing was, I wrote this pitch. I said, all entertainment is streamed to small personal devices. People are locked in. There's no society anymore. Everyone's locked into looking at a little screen that they carry around in their hand. I wrote that in 1999, and I'm saying that to boast because I'm quite very proud of that. And that was all about a world where entertainment is streamed directly to the individuals, and so people get kind of caught up in it, and they forget about live rock and roll, and they forget about getting out and about. And that's what the show's about.
We've talked to other writers about similar things before, about the fact that authors often end up being prescient. Sometimes, like On the Money, their novel comes out that was written 2 years before about something that happens to have just broken on the news the week of the the release of the book. And I've often said, do you have crystal balls? Are you from another land?
Sit down very carefully.
No, but you know what I mean. And what most of them reply is, no, but we do recognise patterns.
Yeah.
And if you're looking at science and you're trying to prove a theory, or you're looking at the weather and you want to forecast it, it's patterns that you look for. Is that what? Do you agree with that?
Well, I don't know. I think I do it instinctively, but certainly all dystopian visions are actually about the time they're written. I mean, the most famous, and for me, the greatest of all, is 1984, Orwell's extraordinary vision of a future world. And he wanted to call it 1948, which was the year it was written, because he was talking about the Sovietization, what was happening in the Soviet Union. The world had just come through the Nazi horrors, and he was writing about this world where political strong men were, etc. in 1984. And so he was writing about the present, and that's what dystopian visions are. So when authors appear to be, Emma Thompson once very kindly said, you're a prophet, Ben. Ever since Stark, my first novel, you seem to be...
You're in prophet, Ben.
You're in prophet, yes.
Finally, you're in prophet, Ben.
I am certainly in prophet, but well, it's all right. But really, it's about looking around you and then having a little, think about it and sort of extrapolating slightly. And certainly, because I've always been interested in current affairs and politics, and I tend to write. I don't sort of write from within. I don't write about myself, sort of lonely, personal. I write about the big stuff. I like, and that's what my stand-up routines are about, and my novels, and indeed We Will Rock You. We Will Rock You is a dystopian vision. It's a fun one. It's a great big, glorious joke, but It is a dystopian vision of a world in which rock and roll is entirely contained within corporate machines, and they control it and give you what they want to give you and keep from you what they don't want what they wish to keep from you.
So We Will Rock You is back. We Will Rock You returns to the London Coliseum this summer. We Will Rock You London.co.uk. It's booking now. It's a limited run for now, but you've decided to jump on that stage, Ben Elton.
It's a funny
Will
thing.
you stop it now?
I can't. Well, look, talk about dreams come true. I got to write the Queen musical, and now I get to, because I sing a song. I sing Roger Taylor's "Beautiful Days of Our Lives." That's the part is Pop, the rebel leader, originally played by Nigel Planer. You know, remember Neil from The Young Ones? He created it, but I directed it. I've directed "We Will Rock You" all over the world, and it just came up. It's really sort of Brian and Roger were really enthusiastic. They said, we've seen, because they've seen me do auditions where I'm taking people through it and saying, do it like this, do it like that. And they said, well, why don't you do it? And do I want to spend 3 months doing the same thing, 8 shows a week? Well, I do that on stand-up tours anyway. Yeah, I'm so excited now. At first I was nervous. I mean, I'm still nervous about the song. I mean, I can hold a tune. So my wife's a musician. She said, you can sing it, don't over-sing it, don't try too hard. But it's a huge responsibility. But Roger's promised to work with me on it. So, God, I couldn't do work better than that.
So well done on the song. Congratulations, and just hats off for taking it on. How much other stage time do you get as your character?
Oh, lots. I mean, right. Pop is one of the comic is really him and the character of Scaramouche, the rebel girl, the comic spine of the piece. I mean, it's a comedy. I mean, it's a full-on comedy with lots of laughs.
I've seen it.
I think I can get those laughs. I wrote them and I've rehearsed them many times. And as you know, we've talked about this before. I always rewrite the show a little bit, a few sort of topical jokes and a little bit of politics occasionally, So the fact that I'll be there on the ground, is very exciting for me. The Coliseum is obviously, it's 2,600 seat theatre. It's a massive, fabulous opera house. It's a historical music venue. Freddie sang there. Queen have recorded there. It's an extraordinary opportunity, and I have decided, blimey, YOLO, as they say, as young people say, I believe. I've stuck myself right in the middle of it, and I as I say, it's my job to really get a lot of laughs, and I can tell you, I'm going to get them.